This week on the Half Hour, Piwon Dlamini takes us more in depth into the life of Khulekani Msweli from his beautiful home in Vuvulane. And if you missed the first part of our two-part series, feel free to check out our previous videos. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell for notifications so you know whenever we drop a new episode. The Half Hour, on the record, for the record.
Okay, Khulekani, now I would like for us to talk more about your business ventures and your social entrepreneurship projects. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, you wear so many hats. You are a jack of all trades and a master of all. So now I'd just like for you to zero in on all of those. I mean, you've got the Vuvulane OVC Foundation, Outreach Foundation. You've got Jerome Paul, and then you've also got... What else do you have?
Vuvulane Food Market.
Vuvulane Food Markets. Yes, that's what you've got. So now, I just want to know, starting with Jerome Paul. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you studied fashion and that when you came here, was that the beginning of Jerome Paul? What was the inspiration behind it? When did you start having this idea, and what was the vision that you had for Jerome Paul?
Yeah, perfectly right on that. Jerome Paul has been really the catalyst of all my business interests. Whether it's the Vuvulane Food Market right now, but the fashion space and also my art interest were the grounding nature of what Jerome Paul is. And just for the knowledge of most people, a lot of people ask me, what does even Jerome Paul mean?
Yes, what does it mean?
So it's a combination of two names, Jeremiah and Paul.
Right.
So my middle name is Jeremiah, and I was named Jeremiah by my grandfather, whose name as well was Jeremiah. So apparently when I was born, he said this will be Jeremiah the second.
Oh, lovely.
So it's an interesting thing where I suppose all people just like to make sure that they immortalize themselves.
That's what it is.
So, but I believe it was an honor in the sense he wished, I suppose, for me to grow up to be a good, hardworking man like himself.
Yes.
And then he was a true inspiration in my life.
Wow.
Because he's the one who raised this family that I'm in. And then there's my father then, Paul, whose name I've also included in the business, whereby he's also been a great source of inspiration and a great role model in my life. And I deliberately chose two male figures within it, because in most cases you tend to find in society in general, there are a lot of absent fathers who are never there, to see their kids, especially their sons, grow up to be men, who are never there to hold their hands and make sure they reach their dreams.
Wow.
Yet these two men in my life, my grandfather led by example. My father led by example. So I believed the name of my business had to have some gravitas to it and have a lot of legacy behind it. So that if I dare deter from the bigger vision, I'm like, you cannot give up. These men are watching you. So Jerome Paul kind of has been the catalyst of those business interests. And when setting it up, it was a matter of, in the long run, or the vision of it, to be a business or a company which provides a certain sense of lifestyle to Eswatini and everyone who interacts with it, where at first it is a selfish decision to say, maybe I'm hoping people adopt a bit of my lifestyle. So it's through the business and the brand and the products I create together with the team that I work with. It's a bit of me sharing my lifestyle and hoping people adopt that lifestyle, whether it's the fashion, the clothes, whether it's the furniture in your home or the interior decoration in your home, and then now whether it's the food you eat. I'm only saying, can Jerome Paul be a part of offering a sense of great and beautiful lifestyle to people who interact with it? So it's a beautiful journey, seeing something starting from literally nothing and then slowly building it up. So 2020 makes it 10 years of being in business.
Wow.
So it's a huge year for us, and it's a major milestone for me to know that it is possible to start to have a dream, to implement it, and actually see it growing right here in Eswatini.
Yeah. So, what is the experience that you hope people will get from coming down to Vuvulani? The experience that you hope we will get from owning a germ pool piece? What do you hope, to offer?
With that, I always say, having had the experience of past clients,
Yeah.
it's the wish for people to take a part of our story and live with it. Because the pieces we create, the work we create, it's about people living with it. And now with food, it's about people ingesting it.
Yes.
So it's
yes.
beyond even just having a piece of clothing or a piece of furniture, but it's also what you eat.
Yeah.
But most importantly, it's about people knowing by consuming any of our products, they're actually extending their hand in making sure that the community of Vuvulane really grows and becomes something bigger. Because without the people, there's no company, there's no business.
Yeah.
I cannot create all the products on my own.
Yes.
I need the seamstresses, I need the wood carvers, I need the people who will just be there every day. I need my community to be healthy and alive and well, to work in the businesses I've started. So anyone who consumes or buys the product is really giving back together with me to my community, which kind of fits in well to the social entrepreneurship side of things, which fits in well to the Vuvulane Orphans and Vulnerable Children's Outreach Foundation, which has been a major driving force for us here in Vuvulane as an organization which really says we cannot leave anyone behind, especially children of our community. The most disadvantaged children in Vuvulane cannot be left behind.
Yeah.
And it always gives me great pleasure that the Vuvulane OVC Outreach Foundation is something which especially my mother started. And this was about 15 years ago.
Wow.
So it's nothing new to us.
Yeah.
Yes, I think 2020 gave Vuvulane OVC Outreach Foundation a bigger platform because it's been a year of extreme emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But we've been here for over 15 years, and it's something which my parents felt it's important that even as a family living in Vuvulane, we have to give back.
Yeah.
And having parents who think of such to say, don't just be inward looking, to say, oh, I've been blessed with a great life, I can afford this, I'm fine with just being cocooned in my wall fence, I don't care what happens behind me.
Yeah.
But to instill a culture of saying, I am not where I am just because of my education or my being witty or wiser than everyone, but it's because of the community I live in. That's how I've become who I am. So I have a duty together with my family to really give back, to really say, we have friends in many spaces, we have influence in so many spaces, we have access to so much. So why can't we use those positions of influence to really benefit everyone in the community, so that when I grow or when Jerome Paul grows in Vuvulane, the community also grows with it.
Yeah.
So my success becomes their success. So hence why I think on my side, it's been really important to put a lot of focus on community work, to put a lot of focus on the welfare of children. Because without great early childhood education, without great healthy children, we are a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Because I always believe I am where I am today because of the great roots of starting in life. So it's my duty to make sure the kids in Vuvulane have close to similar or even better roots of starting in life, better preschools, better schools. They have food, good, healthy food every day.
Yeah.
So yes, it is a very personal thing. It is a thing of saying communities don't just become amazing communities or successful neighborhoods because of people who come with whatever. It's us, the people who live in them, who can transform them into what we want them to become. So yes, so through that, all these things then make sense to me to continue putting more effort in Jerome Paul, because when Jerome Paul succeeds, it means the community succeeds. Because chances are money from there ends up coming back to the community.
Yes.
And when Jerome Paul succeeds, the community gets more jobs. Because as a company grows, it means you hire more because there's more demand.
Yeah.
And for me and for us within the business, it would be a matter of looking within the community, as always.
Yeah. Wow, you've had such a massive, you and your family, a massive contribution in, the development of this community. What can we all learn from that? How can we all, make positive changes in our communities, and how can we get started? Because sometimes people look at it and think, oh wow, this is massive, I don't have the resources, I don't have the skills, I'm not witty enough, I'm not educated enough. What changes, small changes, that make a big impact? What are some of those that people can make in their communities?
Yeah, a change is, I always say to people, we shouldn't have a notion or concept of change being a huge thing or a huge endeavor whereby it's so massive that everyone has to see it. It's the small things. It always starts with the small things that you can actually do within your space. And with that said, that is then followed on by courage, where I always say to people, you have to be very bold and courageous.
Yeah.
Because that first step always needs courage to say, I think I'd like to have X impact. So I'd encourage anyone to really have courage, to be bold, put fear aside, put perceptions aside, put even boundaries aside, because at times, as you mentioned, people think, I don't have the resources. Yes, it's true. As mentioned, my parents started it, 15 or so years ago, with literally saying, okay, kids, make sure you pack away any clothes and toys you're not using so that we can offer to some kids who do not have toys. So it's always a matter of saying, how can I offer my time? Because at times it's not about the money, it's the time.
Yeah.
Because even what's happening now in Vuvulane, on my side, it's the time. I'm committing my time and my networks to the community. So offer time, a little bit of your time to say, can I just check on the neighbor? Are they fine? Are those kids okay? By just asking those questions, you'll realize they actually just needed you to just chat.
Yeah.
It's a healing. And you'll find that you actually know someone who can become then that financial assistance.
Yes.
It might not be you who has the money, but you might know an organization, you might know an uncle or an aunt who might actually help this person. So it starts with just conversations, engaging with the people around us, and not being scared to be vulnerable, and not being scared to say, I've had something in life. There's no crime in you saying, I've kind of had a little bit of a better life.
Yeah.
And through that, I really want to give back. Stand up, speak to your neighbor, speak to your friends, do something. You don't have to have money. You just have to have the will and courage to say, I'd like to make a difference in someone's life.
Nice. I love that. What legacy would you want to leave behind as Khulekani Msweli?
That's a big one.
Not to say you're leaving anything. Don't.
I hope not. I really hope God keeps me for quite a while. Because there's so many dreams I still have. There are so many things I still wish to achieve and to work with people and share all these things happening in my mind. But the biggest thing in terms of legacy, it's for people to just say, he really lived his truth.
Yeah.
For me, it's that I lived my truth without deterring from it, without having any fear or favor, and I stood for the truth. So if it's only that, even on my tombstone you just write Khulekani Msweli stood for the truth, it would be enough. Because we're in a society which no longer has space for the truth. It has distorted the truth.
Yeah.
And we are in a space whereby even leadership is scared of the truth. Whereas the truth is something which, of course, is frightening at times, because the truth is like a mirror. It tells you who exactly you are. And it's not many people who are willing to face the truth. But we need the truth. The nation, the people need the truth to grow. They need the truth to have a better foundation, to build a better life for themselves. So each and every person, whether watching this show, whether having some form of dream, the first thing is for you to be truthful to yourself and not be afraid to speak truth to power. You have to. It's a constitutional duty for I, as a citizen of this country, to speak the truth to the power, to speak the truth to my elected members of parliament, to ask them to represent me well in parliament, and to always seek further clarity and knowledge from whether my prime minister, because he is there to serve me as a citizen of the country. So I always say to people, do not be afraid of the truth. It's what we need to grow. It's what we need to develop as a nation, especially if it's a nation with aspirations of some form of a first world status in the future.
What are some of the ways that you live your truth and speak truth to power?
Firstly, it's by within the endeavors of the things I wish for in life. Without the truth, it affects my business. So it starts from there. It affects the fact that I can wake up every morning, turn on the lights, have water running through my taps. So it's about my reality. So the truths then come in a sense of me saying, no matter what happens, everything I do has to reflect the truth. So it's me walking out this door. It's the truth about my day to day. What did I set out to do? If it's a matter of making sure that Mage Slongonyane, who maybe I have employed, gets her full salary, it's my job to make sure she gets her full salary at the end of the month. I have to stick to the truth because I promised her a full wage. I should not then turn around and say, oh, sorry, I forgot about your money. Can I just give you half of it? That's a lie because you made a promise and that was the truth at that time. So the truth has to be within me in each and every decision I take. Whether it's about me seeing a social ill, it's not someone else's responsibility to shout down when something wrong is being done. It's a civil duty amongst all of us. If I see something wrong in society, I have to shout to the highest of my voice to say this is wrong, and someone has to attend to it. So it's every day. A truth is something which you encounter every day. You don't have a day off from the truth. You don't put a blind eye to the truth, which unfortunately a lot of us are guilty of. When we see something wrong happening, when we see injustice happening to our brothers, to our sisters, I prefer to put a blind eye because the truth is a bit too heavy for me to bear. So yeah, I think every day we have to live our truths, and the truths, yes, come with courage. So we really have to have courage.
Khulekani, it's been awesome talking to you. What are some of the projects, lastly as we close, what are some of the projects that we can look forward to seeing? I feel like every time you just surprise us with something new, something fresh, innovative and inspiring. What more do you have in store? What more can we expect from you?
There are quite a number of things in my little goodie bag of sorts. The one project which we're currently working on is to really, in a way, see Chirimpol grow further. So it has always been my dream to see Chirimpol under one roof. So to get people to experience the entirety of what I create under one roof. And I'm hoping it's a space which will be available soon, maybe early next year. Who knows? With COVID, a lot of things are not happening at the time frames which I was hoping would happen. But I can offer guarantee to a lot of people that, yeah, there'll be something interesting, maybe a Jerome Paul store coming up very soon. Here in Vuvulane, of course.
I like how you're saying a lot, but not too much. So we'll just keep our eyes peeled for that one. Yeah.
And I think lastly, also on the Vuvulane Orphans and Vulnerable Children's Outreach Foundation, also known as VOVCOF, we'll be having a brand new website coming up. So once again, it will be a space where we are constantly trying to make sure we are transparent in how people who decide to join with us and assist our community see us doing work. So the website will just allow more ease of people following the work we do in our social responsibility projects and actually engage with us in a more seamless and better way.
Nice. Awesome. Fantastic. Any last words that you would like to share with anyone? You've had so many words, but
it's been quite a lot of words.
It has. It's been a wordy conversation.
But lastly, besides just saying thank you to you guys for coming to my home and asking me to share with the public a little bit about my life, it's to just offer anyone who's watching to say your dream is valid. Your dream is possible. Never allow anyone to tell you it's not possible.
Yeah.
Because I know it is. And never allow anyone to limit your dreams. Be as wild. Be wild. It's better to tame a wild. You can kind of tame a wild animal. So just be wild with your dreams and ambitions, and it's possible. Just have your heart and your mind in real focus. It's all possible. And then tell it to the universe. And to me, my universe is God. Tell it to God, and God is able to then make it all a reality. And your dreams become true. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khulekani.
The half hour. On the record, for the record.